Hey everybody, welcome to number 3 of 4 video tutorials for how to unhurry, the companion to my book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. We're just working through some very practical exercises and practices to slow our mind and our body down to the pace of Jesus and to tap into this deep reservoir of his love and his joy and his peace where we just live present to the moment. You know, if you pay attention to the life of Jesus, you notice that his teachings on money and on things are some of his most radical teachings on record. I think of Jesus' line, "A person's life does not consist in the abundance of possessions." That is literally the exact opposite message of what we hear in ad after ad, story after story, as it comes to us through the gurus of marketing and advertising. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not down on things or stuff or even wealth. There's a place for all of that in gratitude. But when you watch the life of Jesus and you pay close attention, you realize his life was very simple, not just with things, with time, with relationships, with attention. He lived with a high degree of intentionality, focus, and as a result, I think of Eugene Peterson's translation of Matthew 11, freely and lightly. There's just a joy, a sense of humor, an ease, a presence about Jesus. And I don't think it's a coincidence that his life was marked by the practice of simplicity. Now, there are all sorts of names for this practice or spiritual discipline: simplicity, simple living. The monks used to call it frugality. That has all sorts of negative connotations. Most secular people just call it minimalism. Now, minimalism is a great language for it, but often we hear that and we just think of a modern design house with no children and no mess or whatever it is. And simplicity is less about a design aesthetic or even how many things you have, though that's a key factor of it. It's just about how do we live where the main thing is the main thing, where our life is literally built around Jesus and our abiding prayer life with him, about the relationships that matter most to us, and about whatever the work or assignment that God has given us to do in the world is. Now, for this practice, we have some very simple exercises, most of which have to do with your stuff. How do you minimize? How do you cut your life, your stuff, your closet, your home, your apartment, your schedule, your budget down to the really good stuff where everything, every possession in your care, every moment of your day is just spent well. You feel really good about it. A few things to begin. You are going to need to start 4 piles. Use bags, use boxes, use containers, whatever works for you. The first pile is a giveaway pile. Here's something that I have that's in a closet, in a room, in my life, in my wardrobe, and I don't need it anymore. Let me give it away to somebody in need or a family member or a friend. Second pile is sell. This is something that I want to make some money on, and I can do whatever I want with that money in Jesus and his kingdom. And the third pile is to throw away or to recycle. This is just garbage, or this is just time to go into the recycling bin. And the final pile is the most important, and it's the weight pile. So one of the first things you discover as you begin to minimize your stuff and pare down your life is that most of us have a very emotional connection, more than we realize, with our stuff. We spent money on stuff. Money is a representation of time from our job or our work or whatever. And so often we get not only sentimental, but emotional about the stuff in our closet or in our home. And so if your experience is anything like mine, as you're doing this the first time or a couple of times, you'll have a lot of items, that shirt, a pair of shoes you don't really wear, and you don't really want them, but you spend a lot of money on them and you feel weird, or it was a gift from your grandma or whatever it is. Anything that's in question, just put it in the weight pile or in a bag or in a box. And then you just put that box away for whatever time period you set. I'd recommend, say, 6 months. And what you find is if at any moment something comes to mind, you're like, oh, I really want that jacket, or I really want that pot from grandma 3 Christmases ago, or whatever. I really want that bicycle I thought I would never use again. Whatever it is, just take it out of the box or the bag or the garage, and great, enjoy it, and consider it again another time. But more than likely, once stuff goes in that pile, box, bag, you won't even give it a second thought. And then when you reopen it 6 months later, a year later, whatever, it will be much easier to just let go of it, sell it, give it away, throw it away, recycle, whatever the need is. Now, 4 very simple exercises. Each one will take you a little bit of time, should be a lot of fun. Put on some good music or a movie in the background and just have fun with this. Exercise 1 is your closet. I really think the best place to start is your closet. You just go into your room, your bedroom, get your 4 piles ready to go, and then one idea is just to take every single thing out of your closet. Throw it on your bed or on the floor, just take everything out. It's literally empty, vacuum, clean your closet, whatever, and then begin to sort things into giveaway pile, sell pile, throwaway recycle pile, and weight pile, which more likely will be your biggest pile. And then as you're ready, just begin to add things back in. Now again, no legalism, no right, no wrong. You want to have a lot of things, you want to have a little things. There's all sorts of ways to do this. And I have some very specific examples in How to Unhurry that I've written up line by line. Exercise 2 is basically to do the same thing, but with your stuff. I recommend that you start somewhere easy and non-sentimental, like the bathroom or the linen closet, and then maybe move on to somewhere like the living room where there's no closet to mess around with, and then maybe end in the kitchen, which is a little bit overwhelming if you have a kitchen and it's full of stuff. And again, same thing, 4 piles. Take everything out if you want, or that's a little bit tricky in a kitchen, so whatever works for you. And again, same thing, 1 pile, give away, another sell, another throw away, recycle, and another keep or just wait on until next time. Put things back. And you'll begin to feel that as you do this, room by room, moment by moment, thing by thing, possession by possession, you will begin to just feel this freedom creep up in your heart and this weight that you didn't even know you were carrying of too much stuff, clutter, distraction, just fall off of your shoulders. Some of you will feel this more than others based on your personality, but I really think no matter what your personality is, you'll feel this, and you'll begin to feel, again in Matthew 11, freer and lighter. If your experience is anything like mine, you will have to do this more than once. We literally, my wife and I, started in our closets, went through every room in the house, and got more and more ruthless as we went on, and then had to do the whole thing again. And then 6 months later, we did it again, and then a year later, we did it again. And now we're down to the basis where we do this kind of once a year. We'll just go through each room, in particular with kids, which are just magnets for stuff, and just kind of do a declutter, a cleanse, an annual minimize day. Exercise 3 is to draw your attention to basically papers. If your life is anything like mine, you have drawers and closets and boxes just full of random photographs and papers and bills and records. And this stuff just begins to take up space and time and mess and noise and distraction. And this is the digital age. It's worth your money, I think, to go to Amazon.com or whatever, buy some kind of a scanner to just scan stuff in, make a digital copy. Almost anything that we have in paper, we can put into a digital copy, get rid of what we need to get rid of, put the rest on a laptop or a hard drive somewhere, and again, just begin to open up space in our life. Now, this one is a bit of a pain. It's not that fun. It will take you a little while. That's why I put it as week 3, not week 1. But just go through kind of your paper life, your photo life, and begin to just scan everything in, digitize everything, clean up the clutter in your life, and again, simplify your life to where you begin to live where the main thing is life with Jesus, relationships, and the work that God's put before you. Finally is just a week for budget and schedule, where you basically apply this logic of less is more, and life isn't about like more stuff. More stuff often just equals more anxiety and more hurry rather than peace and joy and love. But you apply it not just to stuff and not just to papers, but to your budget and to your schedule. 2 of the main resources that we have to offer Jesus and the world, our time and our money. So a budget is pretty simple. There are all sorts of ways to do it. I have some ideas in the workbook that are written up for you, but come up with some kind of a budget, and then a schedule where you basically just get out a piece of paper or do it on your computer if you want and come up with your ideal schedule, your ideal week at a glance. Man, put in the spiritual disciplines that are dear to your heart right now. Put in the relationships that matter most. Put in dinner times with the family or a connect point with your best friend. Put in church in there. Put in work habits. Put in exercise, your 8 hours of sleep a night or whatever it is. Just come up with, man, this feels like what would be a really ideal week with Jesus to just live with the easy yoke of Jesus with a lot of joy. Write both of those things up, a plan for your money, a plan for your time. Ideally, share it with somebody to hold you accountable, and then pick a period of time to live into it, whether that's a month or a year or anything in between, and have somebody hold you accountable, and tweak your practice as you go on. You want to add some time here, add some money there, change, detract, whatever it is. Massage it as you go along, but begin to work on living with a higher degree of intentionality, purpose, focus, and as a result, less and less anxiety, stress, distraction, busyness, and hurry, and more of the life that Jesus has for you. For more information, download How to Unhurry off of my website to begin your practice of simplicity.